When Mark and Evelyn Roberts decided to adopt, they thought they were ready for anything. After 10 years of heartbreak, countless fertility treatments, and silent prayers that echoed in an empty nursery, they believed they had endured enough pain to handle whatever parenthood might bring. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared them for Nathan. He was 8 years old, with large, deep-set eyes and a face too still for a child. He rarely spoke, and when he did, his voice was low, deliberate, as if each word weighed too much to carry. The adoption agency had been transparent. Nathan had been in and out of 6 different foster homes. Every single one had returned him. Some cited behavioral problems. Others simply said he made them feel uneasy. Mark had hesitated. But Evelyn, whose arms had longed to hold a child for a decade, couldn't turn away. Maybe, she said softly, he just needs someone to finally stay. The first days were quiet. Nathan ate little, spoke even less, and spent most of his time staring out the window of his new bedroom. The Roberts home, nestled on the edge of a quiet Michigan forest, was meant to be peaceful, a healing place. But as the silence stretched into the second week, the air grew thick with tension. At night, Evelyn sometimes heard whispers. Not voices, whispers, as though a conversation was happening just beyond the wall or beneath the floorboards. Once, she got up at 3 a.m. and followed the sound, only to find Nathan standing barefoot in the kitchen, staring at the open fridge, unmoving. His lips were moving, but no sound came out. When she gently touched his shoulder, he blinked, startled, as though waking from a trance. "Were you hungry, sweetheart?" she asked, trying to hide her unease. "I wasn't talking to you," he whispered. Then he walked away. Mark brushed it off as adjustment stress. "He's been through hell, Ev. Just give him time." But Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. One afternoon, she found a notebook under Nathan's bed. It was filled with drawings, not the kind you'd expect from a child. No sunshine, no smiling stick figures. Just eyes. Page after page of eyes, some human, some not. All of them wide open, watching. She asked him about it at dinner. "You're a very talented artist," she said gently. "Who are all those eyes for?" Nathan looked up slowly. "They're watching me. So I don't forget." "Forget what?" He didn't answer. He simply put down his fork and left the table. That night, Evelyn dreamed of eyes. When she awoke, the room was cold, too cold. She got up to adjust the thermostat and paused. Nathan was standing in the hallway, just outside their bedroom door, watching them sleep. The next morning, Evelyn insisted on calling the adoption agency. "Something is wrong," she said. "I'm not saying we want to give him back, but we need help. Counseling. Records. Anything." The caseworker paused. "There's something you should know," she said quietly. "Nathan's records are unusual. A lot of them are sealed. Redacted. Even we don't have full access. But we've heard things. Foster families spoke of disturbing events." "What kind of events?" "Objects moving. Animals acting strangely. One family's dog refused to enter his room. Another had a cross fall off the wall every time he walked by. And then, well, there were the dreams." Evelyn's grip on the phone tightened. Dreams? All of them reported the same recurring nightmare. Eyes. Hundreds of them. Watching. Blinking. And in the middle, a voice saying, "You can't unsee what you've seen." Mark thought it was all nonsense. Mass hysteria, he said. People feeding into each other's paranoia. He was a science teacher. Rational to the core. But that night, Mark had the dream. He woke up gasping, drenched in sweat, and stared at Evelyn in shock. "They were right," he whispered. "It's real." The following weeks blurred into a surreal haze. Lights flickered with no electrical issue. Doors creaked open on their own. The family cat, Muffin, hissed constantly at Nathan and refused to go upstairs. And then came the voices. At first, they were faint. Mutterings in the walls. Then clearer. Names. Mark's name. Evelyn's. even the name of Mark's deceased brother, whom he hadn't spoken about in years. One evening, Evelyn found Nathan outside in the woods, standing in a perfect circle of stones. Around him were small objects, a broken watch, an old photo, a child's shoe, none of them from their house. "Nathan," she cried, "what are you doing?" He turned slowly. "They wanted me to show you." "Who?" He pointed upward. Not to the sky, but to the space between the trees, the shadows. "They follow me," he whispered. "Ever since I saw." "Saw what?" He walked toward her, and for the first time, there was real emotion in his voice, not fear, but sorrow. "A place I wasn't supposed to see." Evelyn knelt in front of him. "Tell me, sweetheart. Please." He sat down, his small fingers trembling. "When I was 4, I wandered off at a picnic. I went into the woods. I heard whispers like someone calling my name. I followed them. I found a place. A clearing with old stones, like graves, but older. The air was heavy, like it was holding its breath. And then I saw them." "Who?" He looked her dead in the eyes. "The ones who watch. They told me secrets. Things I wasn't supposed to know. About people. About the world. About how thin the wall is between here and there." Tears filled Evelyn's eyes. "Why you?" "I don't know. But once you see them, they never stop watching." The temperature dropped suddenly. Evelyn could see her breath. She grabbed his hand. "Come on. We're going home." But Nathan resisted. "It's too late. You saw them now, too." Over the next days, Evelyn began seeing shadows moving where there was no light. Her dreams became darker, more vivid. She'd wake up and find dirt on her feet, as though she'd been walking outside. Mark began hearing knocking sounds from behind mirrors. When he removed the bathroom mirror to check, he found writing scratched into the wall. "You were warned." Desperate, they reached out to a local priest. Father Donovan had heard whispers of this child before. "He's not possessed," he said after meeting Nathan. "But he is marked." That place he saw, it wasn't just a forest. It was a threshold. "A threshold to what?" Mark asked. "To them. Watchers. Not demons. Not angels. Just ancient witnesses. They mark those who find them. And they never let go. Can we undo it?" The priest shook his head. "No. But you can choose what to do with the gift." "Gift?" Evelyn said in disbelief. "You call this a gift?" Father Donovan nodded. "He can see truth others cannot. And through him, so can you." Evelyn and Mark sat in silence for a long time after the priest left. They could return Nathan, wash their hands of it, pretend none of this ever happened. But then Evelyn looked at the boy sleeping in his bed, small, fragile, and burdened beyond belief, and whispered, "We stay." From that moment, the air shifted. The house still whispered. Shadows still moved. But now they felt less hostile, less intrusive. Almost protective. Nathan began to open up. He started speaking more, drawing less. His eyes still carried weight, but also something new, trust. One night, he stood at Evelyn's door. "I had a dream," he said. "Tell me." "They're not angry. They were just waiting for someone to listen. They said, 'Thank you.'" Evelyn pulled him into a hug. "You're safe now." Years passed. The whispers faded. The drawing stopped. Nathan grew into a kind, insightful teenager, the type of person who could make anyone feel seen. He volunteered at shelters, helped foster kids feel less alone, and always listened to the quiet things no one else noticed. People often said he had an old soul. Evelyn and Mark knew better. He had seen the eyes of the ancient. And rather than turn cold, he chose to use what he'd learned, not to fear, but to heal. Because sometimes, the things no one wants are the ones the world needs most.